I'm a big fan of 3D printing functional parts, and I've been eyeballing these really cool toolboxes that are like tackle boxes and they can open up. You can find them on printables, you can find them on Maker World, you can find them on Creality Cloud as well. But I'm not so sure that 3D printing things like this is that good of an idea. So in this video, I thought we should do some drop testing between PLA and PETG to see just how impact resistant they really are. So, stick around. Prints like these contain a lot of parts. They also consume a large amount of our time, and they consume a large amount of filament as well. So it would be a real shame if we were to drop something like this if it broke, and there's a potential that whatever's on the inside as well is going to break too. So I think we need to whip up some samples, and then we can do some measured drop tests to see how impact resistant the PETG and PLA samples really are, and that way we know whether we can buy into something like this or if we should stay away. Most models like this are designed with these slight radius edges on the outside, on the inside as well. Sometimes they have a radius on the inside corners also. This particular model does not have that. So it's not necessarily that they're poorly designed, it's really more of a limitation of the way that we're producing them on our 3D printers. I think of a 3D print more like a piece of wood. It has a grain structure, it has a definite strength in one direction and a weakness in another direction. This is that rugged case design that seems super popular. So let's get some prints going for both PETG and PLA, and then we'll make sure we print a couple of each as well. One down, 3 to go. I have another one printing here. This one here has only 3 walls and the infill is set to 20%. I thought we'd try one that's more of a light duty version as well, and that is also PETG. I just happen to have some old sacrificial batteries that I've been hanging on to for far too long, that I think we can also use in our testing. This is what I came to this morning. I don't remember assigning fuzzy skin. We're gonna have to take a look to see what I did wrong, because I'm pretty sure this is something in the slicer. I accidentally assigned the Bambu basic PLA with a fairly high flow rate. Let us use the correct assignment for material and give this another try. Nearly finished prepping all of our test pieces, including this one. So now we need to get onto the board that we're going to use to launch these, just so we get a little bit more consistent results. So I have some laminate flooring here. It's relatively slippery, not too slippery. But I need to make some guide rails, so I'm going to go ahead and cut some wood. Well, I don't know. Would you say it's a little bit better? All right, let's go ahead and get these strips attached in the right spot. I'd like to glue this on just on a slight angle. I think that's going to be a bit more realistic test rather than just having this come off straight. Who drops things perfectly straight? If you're going to drop it perfectly straight, then don't drop it at all. Now that's more like it. $344. 336. Oh. So I have my fuzzy skin print, unintentional fuzzy skin print, and the lid. That's pretty rough. And I've just loaded it with some bolts and nuts. PLA, 6 walls, 35% infill, 6 walls, 35% infill for PETG, 3 walls, 15% infill PLA, 3 walls, 15% infill PETG. They should fall pretty much in the same spot each time. The first test will be on this carpet to give it a little bit of cushion. If they pass that test, I have this laminate flooring we can drop on, and I will add a little bit of rubber to simulate some underpad under that. If they pass that test, we'll do a test directly on concrete floor. Let's get to it. 3, 2, 1. It looks intact. 3, 2, 1. Again, looks intact. 3, 2, 1. So we have a little bit of damage. The outside around the corners seems to be fine. So I'll just wrap some tape and we'll keep on going. 3, 2, 1. Still intact. 3, 2, 1. For the most part, it's intact. There's something wrong with the clip, but aside from that, 3, 2, 1. It looks like the hinge part came off, but it didn't necessarily break. 3, 2, 1. Some additional damage here on this corner. 3, 2, 1. The hinge section is broken. It's still barely holding on, so I'll wrap some tape around it. 3, 2, 1. The hinge is still intact and the clip was obviously broken last time. Other than that, and a little bit of damage on the bottom, nothing else. 3, 2, 1. There's definitely fracture lines here at the lower clip. Other than that, it's still intact. 3, 2, 1. It doesn't look like there's any additional damage on top of what we already had. 3, 2, 1. The hinge looks like it's completely mangled, so I'll pop that back together, and the clip is obviously broken. The last test didn't completely break these. Some of them have more damage than others, but I'd like to take it a bit further and do a drop test from as high as my arm can reach onto the concrete floor to see how they can handle that type of a drop. 2, 1. Two, 1. 2, 1. Two, 1. We have officially broken each of our test pieces. They're not all broken in the same way. We'll take the tape off and have a closer look. Out of all the pieces that we tested, I think the one that performed the best was this one. No, I'm just joking, that's terrible. So for the PLA with 15% infill 3 walls, the top is completely broken. We have the clip that's broken here. The lower clip isn't necessarily broken, but the top section of it has come off and the hinge is completely broken off as well. The bottom is still intact. For the 15% infill 3 walls PETG, the lower clip is still intact. The upper clip is not. The hinge is fractured and it still doesn't want to come off. The lower section here, although it hasn't completely broken apart, is cracked as well. It does not look like it's cracked on the inside. The 6 walls PLA 35%, we have this section completely broken off. That includes a portion of the hinge, which is still attached here. This front clip is still in one piece, which I'm really surprised about. It's still pretty strong. That's impressive. Wow. Wow. Okay, I didn't expect that. And the lower case, we have this section of the clip is broken off. Everything else looks in good shape. So 6 walls PETG, 35% infill. How did we do? Well, we have similar damage here to the PLA version. The clip here is broken off and the lower clip is also broken off. The lower case is still in good shape aside from this. The hinge looks good. Oh, there is a little bit of damage, a section removed here. So here is the filament that I used for this PLA print and this PETG print. Now normally when you take PETG, it's fairly flexible and it's hard to break. You can twist it. Usually you can get it to kind of stretch out in the middle section, but it's really difficult to break. On the other side of it, this is the transparent PLA. It's not usually that difficult to break. It's usually fairly brittle. But if you put PETG in the form of a 3D print, it seems to remove a lot of the flexibility and it fractures and it breaks off in these shards as well that are really sharp. I don't know if you guys have had the same experience as I have, but it seems to be, no matter which brand of PETG I print with, that it does this. Almost like glass. Very sharp edges. Now PLA also does this, but it's funny that there's a big difference between the filament and the final print on the PETG and not so much on the PLA. Going into this test, I didn't think these would perform so well. I'm a little surprised with how well the body of these stood up. I'm not surprised at how easily some of the clips broke off. I am very impressed with how strong this clip is. If I were to redesign this, I wouldn't do it this way. This should have the layer lines oriented opposing to this direction in this way. As for the hinge, this is not really a heavy duty part, and obviously you're not going to be dropping these onto a concrete floor from as high as you can reach. So I guess the question is, would you trust something that you put in here? And I don't know if I would trust everything that I would put in here. If it's just batteries, I don't think there's a big problem with that. If it's something that's valuable, then I probably would have a foam liner in here. But I'd like to know what you guys think about this. Is this something that you would print yourself? Would you trust this? And if you would redesign it, what changes would you make as well? So obviously this was not an extensive test video, and I really would like to test a full-size toolbox filled with tools for impact resistance as well. But I'm also interested in what you guys want me to test as well. So I'll make you a deal. If you can get this video to 2,000 likes, I will test whatever you guys want me to test in whatever way you want me to test it. And maybe what we can do is take the first 5 legit ideas that are down in the comment section there and give them a thumbs up, so you let me know which ones I need to test first. And if you are enjoying this type of content, please make sure to subscribe if you have not already. Give me a thumbs up down there as well, and hit that notification bell as well. It really helps to support making content like this. Thank you to all of my patrons for helping to make videos like this possible. And if you want to help to make this channel successful as well and help to support the channel more directly, you can visit me in the link below to my Patreon page. So I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed breaking things. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.